ALBA-TCP member states signed a joint declaration at the closure of the 23rd Summit of Heads of State and Government of the bloc held in Caracas, Venezuela. In Peru, the Public Prosecutor's Office extended a preliminary investigation into President Dina Boluarte for possible bribery for the case of some luxury watches she exhibited in several acts. And the Israeli occupation army continued its attacks against the Palestinian population of the Gaza Strip as local media reported 79 people killed and other 86 injured. Hello and welcome to From the South. My name is Belén de los Santos and from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba, we begin with the news. The 23rd Summit of Heads of State and Government of ALBA-TCP closed on Wednesday in Caracas, Venezuela, with a joint declaration signed by all member states. In the declaration, the member states adopted a 2030 strategic agenda as a guiding document to face the years to come and stressed the importance of CELAC as a genuine mechanism for regional integration. The declaration also ratified the proclamation of Latin America and the Caribbean as a zone of peace and denounced the unilateral and coercive measures against Venezuela and Nicaragua, as well as the U.S. blockade against Cuba. The regional bloc also reaffirmed the claim to the European countries for reparations and compensation as a result of colonialism and demanded an urgent need for cooperation and solidarity with Haiti. They also rejected the raid of the Mexican embassy in Quito carried out by the Ecuadorian government. Also in Venezuela, during the 23rd Summit of the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of Our America, ALBA-TCP, the Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro emphasized that the organization guarantees the rights of the people and the development of their independence.
We're there, joining this initiative, and the Bolivarian Alliance for the People of Our America has proved a great capacity to be in the middle of the truth, fighting for the rights of the people to the independence, to the freedom, to the sovereignty, to the development, for the right of life. The ALBA, that was born as an alternative to neoliberalism, has become a great alliance for the life of our people.
In this context, President Nicolás Maduro addressed that only ALBA can manage and perform the miracle of balance and respect.
Díaz-Canel, president of Cuba, was saying that only the ALBA can manage and made the miracle of balance and respect. There's no big or small countries. There's no domain to one another. We are all the same. We are brothers and sisters. We are the same. And in that sense, we can develop a new morals for the development of the trades and inventions and economy. A new moral, and this practical applications and successful results.
Also, during his speech at the ALBA-TCP summit, the Cuban President Miguel Díaz-Canel expressed his solidarity with all the member states and all Latin American and Caribbean countries and sentenced that 2024 will be a year of progress and unity based on the principles set out by the organization's founding leaders.
Hey, brothers of Latin American Alliance, 2024 is going to be a triumph year of unity and advance. We will not say no to our dreams, and we will not make treason upon our leaders.
And for his part, Bolivia's President Luis Arce referred to the context in which the summit was being held and described it as being characterized by global challenges in the middle of the crisis of world capitalism.
Today we are held in the middle in a crucial point of history marked by global challenges, unprecedented global challenge, and with serious threats to the world peace. The world is facing the political uncertainty in the highest levels by the persistent negative effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, by the consequences of the multilateral crisis of capitalism.
On the other hand, Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega ratified the Latin American and Caribbean countries' determination to continue fighting for their rights and their freedom. The head of state also sent a strong message of unity and commitment to not give up or surrender.
We're saying to the imperialists of the land that here no one is going to give up. No one is going to sell themselves or surrender. We will continue fighting for peace and for unity of the people of Latin America and the Caribbean and for the world.
For his part, the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Brown, declared that his country is proud to be part of his organization, which plays a fundamental role in the development of the continent.
Antigua and Barbuda is proud of being a member of these organizations, and we do believe that the ALBA, it is useful for the hemisphere and is going to get our people from poverty in the strength to achieve the hemisphere peace and the prosperity of the region. I take this opportunity to invite you, all of you, most of all to the heads of state, to a conference of the small island states that is going to be held in Antigua and Barbuda in May 2024, a very important conference. We will take the leadership to help this island state to achieve the goals of sustainable development.
Finally, the Prime Minister of Dominica, Roosevelt Skerrit, stressed that the organization remains strong 20 years later and that it has been 20 years of solidarity and commitment among the member nations.
Time in history, never Latin America and the Caribbean became so close and had so much solidarity as we have now. We are making a tribute and a homage to Fidel Castro and Hugo Chavez in these 20 years of ALBA. A lot of you say that ALBA wouldn't last 2 years, but here we are, 20 years of solidarity, 20 years of strength, 20 years of complementary among all of us Caribbean nations. The main thing about ALBA is that it's speaking to the center, to the most important of the human survival from the humankind challenges, and it is formulated solutions to these challenges. There is no other organization in the world that in a such a short time had achieved so much for so many countries and for so many people.
Now let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. Other stories coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back from the South. The Panamanian electoral process has lived hours of great tension in the first day of the advanced voting. A series of serious denunciations paralyzed the process that hours later was reactivated. The plenary of the Electoral Tribunal informed that after a consultation with the National Council of Political Parties, they decided to continue with the process. Previously, they communicated the suspension because on Tuesday morning, they detected that in the presidential ballot of advance voting by internet, some candidates appeared in a different order than in the physical ballot. The electoral entity confirmed that the votes cast are maintained and that the process is resumed. However, several candidates reiterate their concerns.
From the first moment we have denounced it, an electoral tribunal that is not prepared to carry out a transparent process. The irregularities have been from the very first moment. What has happened today is evidence of what we have been denouncing. An early election process that had to be interrupted because they were not able to ensure transparency, accountability with the vote that was cast. The ballots were not there, the ones that should have been deposited.
On Wednesday, the Peruvian Public Prosecutor's Office extended the preliminary investigation into President Dina Boluarte for the case of luxury watches that she exhibited in several acts, adding the possible commission of a bribery crime. In this regard, the statement stated that the preliminary investigation on the president are being extended for alleged commission of the crime of improper passive bribery. In this sense, the entity also detailed that the investigations have been extended to include the regional governor of Ayacucho, Wilfredo Oscorima, who was sure to have lent 2 Rolex watches to the president along with other jewelry valued in thousands of dollars. We go now to Argentina, where the government has shown inaccuracies while trying to respond to the popular claim in defense of public higher education, days after the largest protest the country has seen in the last decade. The executive assured that it had transferred funds to the universities, but without an increase in the budget. In this regard, the House of Government recognized that they had arrived late to the pressing issue, as hundreds of thousands took to the streets all over the country on Tuesday to protest fund cuts that endanger public universities. The Ministry of Security failed to implement its street protocol in the face of the 800,000 demonstrators in the capital, Buenos Aires. Furthermore, by the end of the day, Maximiliano Queseli, right-hand man of the Human Capital Minister, resigned from his position after the massive protest.
The defunding of the university and the scientific system is detrimental to the declared objectives of achieving economic growth. It is a setback for the country's economy, which could be significantly supported by exports based on the knowledge economy. Thanks to its university and scientific system, Argentina is the first country in Latin America in terms of research, development, and innovation. One of the 10 most important energy reactors in the world was manufactured in this country.
Now we move on to other topics. On Thursday, the Israeli occupation army continued its attacks against the Palestinian population of the Gaza Strip, as local media reported that 79 people were killed and 86 were injured. Wafa news agency reported that Israeli airplanes attacked a house belonging to the Al-Jamal family east of Rafah, killing 5 people and leaving several wounded, most of whom were children and women. In another bombing in the same locality, 1 civilian was also killed and several were wounded. Attacks were also registered in several sites in Deir al-Balah, Gaza City, and Jabalia. Since the beginning of the Israeli siege on Gaza last October 7th, a total of 34,262 Gazans have been killed and more than 77,000 Palestinians were wounded. And we stay in Palestine, as mass graves found in 2 Gaza hospitals have shocked the world and the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights. Gazan authorities confirmed that several of the bodies found at the grave at the Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis were hand-tied. The nearly 300 bodies found showed signs of execution. On the other hand, the Al-Shifa Hospital, a mass grave with numerous bodies, was found at the beginning of April. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, said that he was horrified by the reports coming from the 2 hospitals. And now we have a final short break coming up, but before, we invite you to join our WhatsApp community for our English-speaking audience. You can scan the QR code on screen to join directly and also share the link to reach more people. Constant news coverage of Latin America and the Caribbean, as well as the rest of the world. Stay connected and informed with teleSUR. Final short break, don't go away. The People's Republic of Korea accused the United States of increasing tensions in the Indo-Pacific region by seeking to include Japan in the AUKUS alliance. According to analyst Kang Jin-sung from the state agency KCNA, Washington is intensifying its plan to expand and strengthen military blocs in the Asia-Pacific region. In turn, he pointed out that at the recent AUKUS Defense Minister Summit, comprising the United States, the United Kingdom, and Australia, Japan's preferential participation was formalized. In this regard, he denounced that the U.S. government is seeking to put Japan at the forefront of anti-China pressure and push for a nuclear minefield in the Indo-Pacific region near the Asian giant. In Western Australia, between 50 and 100 pilot whales are stranded on the remote beach in Dunsborough. The Parks and Wildlife Services said on Thursday that dozens of the pilot whales are stranded near a sandy shore and in shallow water. The area is known as Toby's Inlet, more than 250 kilometers south of the city of Perth. In this regard, the agency said that it has deployed its teams of officials, experts, and veterinarians in response to the mass stranding to try to keep the marine mammals alive and get them back to the sea. And let's go now to sports, and we begin with the announcement made by Major League Baseball about the 4 host venues for the 2026 World Baseball Classic. According to the MLB organizers, the iconic Minute Maid Park in Houston will host this prestigious tournament together with Tokyo, San Juan, and Miami. The game semifinals and finals will be hosted by Miami's London-Pot Park for the second consecutive time, while San Juan takes back the hosting role for the first time since 2013. The 2026 World Baseball Classic, on its 20th edition, is expected to gather 20 countries, 16 of which have already confirmed their participation. The Colombian cycling team has secured 7 quotas for the upcoming 2024 Olympic Games to be held in Paris next July. The Colombian Cycling Federation received the confirmation from the International Cycling Union. The 7 quotas will include 4 places for track cycling, where there are so far only 2 athletes classified, Kevin Quintero and Marta Bayona, who will participate for sprint and skating. In road cycling, the quotas would be for 2 men in cry route and 1 woman in route. The Colombian delegation already has 60 athletes with their quotas assured to Paris 2024. And let's go now to the field of science and innovation in China. Joint efforts between the government, scientists, and nearly 12,000 farmers have turned a barren land into a fertile one in the Mu'uz Desert in the northwestern region of the country. In October 2018, the local government invested $350 million in this project focused on fertilizing the Mu'uz Desert to be able to sow potatoes. A year later, researchers and farmers started the first phase of the project by planting potatoes on 20 acres, which average yield was 150 kilograms of potatoes. They also managed to come through with 430 kilograms per acre nowadays by harnessing both the minimally invasive planting and flood irrigation technologies. And let's find out more about these innovative agricultural technologies. Minimally invasive planting technology reduces interference from the environment, increases the likelihood of plant survival, whereas flood irrigation uses rivers, swells, and floods so that farmers lead them to the desert area, providing the desert soil essential nutrients. These innovative technologies improve food security and boost the welfare of farmers in the Belt and Road Initiative nations, as those states can transfer such tax. This project demonstrates that humans can reach sustainable food production even in the most unlikely of lands through technology and innovation. Also in Bolivia, the state book publisher presented on Wednesday The Little Prince in Guarani and Aymara languages at the 4th Cultural Book Fair in El Alto. According to the manager of the state publishing house, Estela Machicado, the most famous work of the French writer and aviator Antoine de Saint-Exupéry will be entitled Warawar Wawa and Buburu Bicharay. Each volume has a QR in each chapter, which will allow readers to listen to the audios in native languages. In this way, the company has the mandate to bring the book to the people with the challenge of democratizing the people's access to knowledge. According to the organizers, the initiative aims to encourage the habit of reading and to rescue the cultures of the plurinational state of Bolivia. And like this, we have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. And also join us on social media. We are on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and also on TikTok. For TeleSUR English, my name is Belén de los Santos. Thank you for watching.